سلام خواهران عزیز، خانم‌های محترم، روز زن بر همتان مبارک میگم و برتان موفقیت‌ها و کامیابی بیشتر آرزو دارم.
And it's been an absolutely fantastic journey. I was privileged to be asked to join ACAA and to help them to increase their partnership work and outreach work. And I've seen firsthand how outstanding that work is. The fact that we give so many opportunities to people who just need a hand up is so impressive to see firsthand. I'm passionate about what happens at ACAA because I grew up in a very violent, mixed-race home. I was the daughter of an Indian refugee, and sadly I was subjected to violence and abuse in my childhood. I felt invisible growing up, and I had no voice. So I completely understand what it's like for many of the women who come to us for help and support, and I'm so proud at the level of help and support that they get.
The women in Afghanistan experienced 43 years of war, the longest war in history. We lost 6 million lives, and the 43 years of war left millions of widows, orphans, and disabled. More than the Second World War, comparing the size and the population of Afghanistan to the EU. Despite some progress in recent years, women in Afghanistan are facing gender apartheid in the 21st century. Women of Afghanistan have suffered decades of conflict, violence, and oppression. Under the Taliban's rule, women face torture and human rights violation. Women banned from receiving an education, working or having any public life. The situation of women in Afghanistan is a clear violation of human rights. And it's our obligation, and it is our obligation, to liberate them as soon as possible. Since the return of Taliban, we as an organization in London have received thousands of emotional emails, messages, and telephone calls from women requesting for evacuation. Millions of women under the Taliban face persecution and starvation right now. In addition, we are the only community in the world that does not have any representation in politics globally.
I'm always struck when I speak to ACAA people, how eloquent people are and how well they speak and how well they get their point across. And I wanted to reflect on the importance of language, because I think in the UK we are at risk at the moment of allowing some of our language to degenerate and to lead to a sort of feeling that there's two classes of people. There's people who are normal people, and then there's people who arrive in the UK by boats, when actually a day like today reinforces our shared humanity. Each of us is in some way, shape or form from a family, from a community. We all breathe the same air, we all have medical needs, we all have educational needs. And what's important on a day like today is to just remind ourselves how similar we are to one another. Not to put barriers in the way of understanding our human experience one from the other. Not to have a two-tier society. And I hope that together, by doing the work in Parliament to get the needs of Afghanistan as a country and Afghan refugees here in the UK to afford them more priority within our thinking in government, that I want to play my part in that. But I also want us to remember on a day like this with International Women's Day, we can celebrate, but we have oh so much more to do. To sit round on the rug of humanity and to join together to bring down those barriers, those walls, those fences which intend a two-tiered society, and join together in genuine equality, as Dr. Nassimi has said, equality and a genuinely shared human perspective.
Today, it's a day to celebrate how strong women are in their daily life. Never underestimate your power. Today, we are facing the horrors of the ongoing war in Ukraine, brought up by the very Russian Tsar of macho politics, who, among other amenities, thinks that women cannot do their job properly because of the menstrual cycle. Today, we are facing the horrors of the ongoing conflict.
Mentioned that today is PMQs, so your kind of diary commitments must have been very busy. But thanks for coming.
My absolute pleasure. It's an absolute honour to be here, and thank you to the organisers for inviting me. So yes, I'm a Labour MP based in the northwest of England, north of Manchester. But my reason for being here really stems back to my relationship with a friend who was originally from Afghanistan. So some of you may know Marziah Baba-Khail. Marziah I actually met at an International Women's Day about 3-4 years ago. And she told me her story. Marziah was an Afghan judge based in the provinces, and she set up an education centre for women and girls. That wasn't very popular with the previous Taliban administration. They threatened to kill her if she didn't stop the centre, and she refused. And so they tried to assassinate her. She went into hospital, and then she got word that as soon as she was going to be released from hospital, that they would kill her again, try to kill her again. So that's when she left, and she came to the UK via Pakistan, and I got to know her. We now work together, and she has
recite a poem. Actually, I had decided to read a poem in English, but then I changed my mind because the majority of people can understand Persian here. So I would like to recite a ghazal for you. رقاص بی‌نظیر من کولی برای من برقص یا شوق را در من بکش یا پا به پای من برقص از خوشه انگور آن چشمان خونی خمار آتش به جام من بکش، در شعله‌های من برقص. از گیسوان سرکشت تاری به دست من بده، وقتی که تار میزنم روی صدای من برقص. وقتی که میروی سفر هر جا که تنبکی زدند، بی شرم از نبودنم ای بی وفای من برقص.
ACAA for inviting me today to share my life experience as a woman in Afghanistan and a person who evacuated recently in the UK. Whatever I have experienced, believe me, I'm still in trauma. So my English is not very good also, sorry for that. When Kabul fell to the Taliban on 15 August, the situation was very bad. You all saw it in the TV, in the news. But whatever we experienced is different. You can believe me, in 15 August, when Kabul fell to the Taliban, and it was 18 August when I went to the airport for evacuation, I received an email from Ministry of Defense in the UK, because I was a single mom with 2 children. And as a single mom with 2 children, my daughter was that time 10 years old. And I was worried about my daughter. Maybe Taliban will come for a forced marriage for myself as well for my daughter. Because at 11 years old, when they're in year 6, the girls are graduated from school. They don't have any right to do their education after primary school. So when I received this opportunity, I was very happy for my daughter, not for myself. I thought, okay, we can go to the UK and I can save one girl in Afghanistan among other girls who are still in Afghanistan.
حساب و بیخوابی برای مرد، میهن آبادی برای دختری که آرزو داشت پسر بود، برای زن زندگی آزادی.
Ini